Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this professional learning opportunity. I'm Loretta Rupert, the Business Development Coordinator with NCEA, and I will be facilitating this webinar. Just a few housekeeping notes as people are joining. If you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to use the Q&A window. We will monitor the questions and try to answer them in the allotted time. At the end of this session, I will share a link to the online survey and how to receive a certificate of completion for this webinar. Today's webinar, Unlocking the Power of Screenagers, is brought to you by Screenagers. Our speakers today are Lisa Tabb, our CEO and founder and director of Screenagers, and Dr. Hallie Colorado, who has excellent firsthand experience of the power of Screenagers. Lisa Tabb is a distinguished producer with a rich background in digital media and parenting. She co-produced the 4 Screenagers movies and co-directed Screenagers Under the Influence, addressing vaping, drugs, and alcohol. And she also co-produces the Screenager podcast and edits the Screenagers Tech Talk Tuesday weekly blog. Dr. Hallie Colorado is a Bay Area school counselor and currently the director of health, wellness, and counseling services at a K through 8th school, St. Matthew's Catholic School. She presently serves over 600 students and their families, providing school counseling services, social emotional learning curriculum, and facilitates parent education opportunities. This webinar will showcase Screenagers project memberships and how it helps NCA schools tackle screen time, tech use, and phone policies while supporting student well-being, substance use prevention, and healthy sleep through the Screen-Free Sleep campaign. Before we begin, let us take a moment to pray and gather ourselves in silence. As we begin, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, I place my trust in you. In moments of doubt and despair, fill my heart with the light of hope. Grant me the strength to persevere, the courage to face challenges, and the faith to believe in you and in your promises. May your hope sustain me today and always. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. And now it is my pleasure to turn it over to Lisa Tabb and Dr. Hallie Colorado. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. Hi, so I am, like was said, I am the producer and the director of the Screenagers movies, of which we have 4. Originally, we made Screenagers Growing Up in the Digital Age. That was came out in 2016, and we just updated it in May of last year. So it is really holds up still. I always say, unfortunately, I didn't think that we would be talking about these issues a decade later, but we are. So in that film, we have now have Jonathan Haidt, among other new experts and updated stories. Then we went on to make Screenagers Next Chapter, which is about mental health in the digital age. And it's really a mental health first film about stress, anxiety, depression, and then we overlay the impact of screen time throughout. And then we made Screenagers Under the Influence, which addresses vaping, drugs, and alcohol in the digital age. And that one is as much of a media literacy film as it is a prevention film, as well as mental health. We do kind of come at it from that angle. And then last year, we created a film called Screenagers Elementary School Age Edition, which is it's kind of based on the original film. We use the same framework, but we've focused on K-5 kids more, the issues and such. And all of our films are for both. We have a parent community version, and they're both great to see with parents and kids present, but we also have made a classroom version of each film. And because we do a membership platform where schools will bring the movies, use the movies throughout the year, and we have curriculum to go along with each of the films, age level curriculum. So we do a number of other things, including we've been advocating for phone bans and in schools. Since 2017, we have something called Away for the Day. And just this year, we launched something called Screen Free Sleep, which we're really advocating for parents to push out taking all the technology out of the bedroom for kids at night. We feel like that will improve mental health outcomes and improve academic outcome as well. So I brought Hallie here today because Hallie is runs the counseling program at a very large Catholic school in the San Francisco Bay Area, and she's been using all of our movies, our curriculum, and even is about to roll out our sleep campaign. So I wanted to give a moment for Hallie to talk about how she uses it before we get into, I'll show you around our membership platform and talk in more depth about it. Thank you, Hallie.
Thank you so much, Lisa. So we have actually been super blessed to be able to use a lot of different resources from your guys' platform. And I know when I was researching different ways to sort of implement some of these strategies into our school, we really appreciated as a leadership team how well it kind of folded into our Catholic culture. And with all of the research and all the information that was out there, I didn't really have to filter any of the films. Like, everything was really appropriate for our demographic, which was huge for us, that I didn't have to go through and kind of piece together things. So I have to say, first and foremost, as a Catholic educator, like, that was the most important thing, in my opinion, to be able to show to not only our children population, but our parent population. So we have set it up to where it's part of our parent education series. So there have been two mandatory events each year where we screened in our K through 4 families. We screened Screenagers, the elementary version, and our parents all came into an auditorium, and we had a sign-in situation where all of the parents were here, and we watched that movie all together. And then immediately following that, there was a Q&A. So parents were able to ask me questions live. And there's a moderator sheet that comes that you guys offer that I was able to utilize as well. But parents were able to ask me whatever questions they want, and we did that. And then everyone went home, and that same week we sent out a survey asking, how beneficial did you find this film? Was there anything that you learned that you were surprised by? Are there any additional questions that you would like to submit anonymously? So we were able to receive all of that feedback pretty quickly and know that our parent population really appreciated that film. And then the questions that were submitted anonymously, I was able to go through and answer, and then those were distributed in a school-wide parent email to where we were able to answer all of those. And then the week that I screened those films to the parent community, I actually was able to go into those corresponding classrooms, and we showed the classroom version. And then with the kindergarten students, I went through the curriculum. So just to summarize, each film comes with its own curriculum, and it's separated into like K through 4, I think, or K through 1 in some of the films, it depends. And then there's different age appropriate lessons. So our teachers were able to log in for the classes that I didn't go in and teach. And the teachers were able to just have a ready-made curriculum that also featured their classroom version of the film. So that was amazing for us. And then with our older students, we did the exact same thing with the Screenagers, the 2025 version for the older students, followed the same exact format, hosted a family-wide event, and that parent only, sorry, not family-wide. And then the students saw their own me in the classroom, and where the students were able to ask me questions, the parents were able to ask questions, and then did the same things. Sent out a survey, the questions were submitted anonymously, and then we were able to answer those. And I think one of the really amazing things for us is it generated a ton of really great conversation with parents. And under each film section on your guys' website, there are a bunch of resource tabs. I think there's like over 30 of them. And one of them was wait until 8. And that was something that generated a lot of interest with our families. And that was essentially the idea that we wait until the end of 8th grade to introduce smartphones. And so we had several classes. I think at least 4 of our classes took the pledge as an entire class, because parents initially started to do it and they thought that it would be easier if they could get the whole class involved. So these families pledged to not buy their children smartphones. until the end of 8th grade, which I thought was amazing because we are in the Bay Area, which is a high tech area. And I think, you know, the average age for a smartphone is 10 years old. And I think honestly here it's probably 6 or 7. So I was really excited to see so many families take that pledge. So we've done that. Our school implemented a no phones on campus policy. So as soon as our students arrive in the morning, the student council takes these boxes to each classroom and collect every student's phone. We only have a few exemptions, and one is for a child with a glucose monitor and things like that. But the phones are then put away and they're stored in our main school office until either a student checks out for the day, or at the very end of the day, they go back to the classroom and the students are allowed to have their phones. So it's been really lovely to see no phones and very limited technology in the classroom during the day. So that's been awesome for us. We've had a lot of parent feedback about just a decrease in bullying or cyberbullying, or just their children are coming home and talking about how much more they're interfacing with students and other classmates. So I think that's been really great. I think we had a good amount of our parents sign up for Tech Talk Tuesday because they found that to be beneficial, of good talking points and information coming just directly to their inbox, and didn't require anything of them.
The Tech Talk Tuesday is our weekly blog, which we have almost 500 of them now. We've been doing it for a decade, writing about one single subject on all of these issues, which are endless.
Yeah, so our parents
Are,
have loved that.
are you using are you using any of the other movies this year?
So yes, we will be screening the next chapter for our K-8. And then I think at the end of the school year, with just our 7th and 8th grade families, we are going to do the last one that involves vaping and things like that as a prep for our families that are going off to high school. Because we have such little ones, I didn't really want to expose the younger parents to that just quite yet. But we are definitely going to show it to our older families just so they have all of the information and they have access to all the different resources you guys offer, because I mean, we only use a fraction of what's been offered. But our parents have access to all of the different things, and they have really loved having access to the movies, and the fact that we screen them live and allow them to answer the questions, I think has been super helpful for everyone. So we've had great success. And then we're super excited. The Screen Free Sleep we're launching tomorrow, which will be really fun.
Let me just say, Screen Free Sleep is a campaign that we just rolled out about a month ago, and we offer it's a very simple message about getting all the technology out of kids' bedrooms at night while they're sleeping, and we're really trying to reach the elementary and middle school parents to kind of enforce these rules and do it collaboratively, as you know, these community conversations that happen through the movies and through other things that we do. That's where we see the greatest success. And so with that, with our rollout, we created a flash mob that actually went through New York, and we created these little fake iPhone boxes, not iPhone boxes. They're thank you. Little Apple looking boxes called iSleep Pro, where that is in there is a sleep mask. And so tell Hallie, what are you going to do with that tomorrow?
So we're excited. We have a school-wide assembly every morning. And after that's done, our junior high is going to stick around, and our student council is doing that same flash mob with the dance routine and the music for our kids. And we've slowly been introducing different tidbits throughout September on sleep and the importance of it in our parent newsletters and to our students. And so once that flash mob has happened, our junior high, I'm kind of going to talk to them about the importance of sleep and not having any screens in the room. It's kind of funny because I've had some of these conversations and students are like, well, Dr. Colorado, how am I going to ever wake up without my phone? I'm like, well, there are alarm clocks. Like in the olden days, is that how you got up for school? I was like, yes, in the olden days, I had a very weird alarm clock. And then we're going to hand out these sleep kits, which I'm super excited. We have 200 of these to hand out. I just love the message behind it, that the breaking technology is no technology. So they'll get their sleep masks, and then they'll go back to class and watch the video that you guys created, like the Steve Jobs kind of spoof. And then that's also going out with that pledge to our whole parent community. So hopefully we'll get some people taking that.
Wow. That's amazing. And inside that little box also is a little sticker with there's two stickers. There's one of there are two different kinds of alarm clocks. So kind of pushing that point. So this is amazing. So when I was talking to NCA about doing this webinar, I know we've shown the movies in different webinars over time, but we never have kind of gone into all the ways we do it. And I was looking, I was looking through some emails of some Catholic schools that had had success and had no idea how in depth Hallie had been using it. Was super excited to hear all these ways. So this has been amazing. I wanted to let her have some time, be able to go back to work and what she's doing. But if anybody has any questions for Hallie right now, feel free to put it in the Q&A. That's where we're taking questions. And then on that, I'll be doing a Q&A afterward. But, and so thank you so much. That was super helpful. And like Hallie said, she, is using it for the parents, for the kids. And some schools, just do a one night parent night, and we say parent community because it actually, we make all the films appropriate for kids and parents to see it, even though they're in the parent version, there is a fair amount of parenting advice. And we always say it's not a terrible thing for kids to see parenting advice from other people than their parents. And so even with the elementary school edition, we kind of wondered how that was going to play out with an audience of little kids and parents. All of our films are about an hour long, except the classroom versions. The classroom versions run about 45 minutes. The elementary school classroom edition is just 25 minutes, actually. But when we first premiered Screenagers Elementary School Age Edition, I went to many screenings, and many of them had the little kids with them. And what I was surprised, and it was almost every time, is that the kids were the first ones to raise their hands and ask questions. And sometimes if you're just doing one screening and the kids aren't going to see it during the day, then that is, especially with the elementary school edition, because it is a nice thing to invite the kids because it takes care of the childcare issues. If you want both parents to come, then you want them to be able to bring the kids so they're not, trading off in that way. But we also do, when you have the membership, and I'll go into this a little bit more, the memberships allow schools to use all of our films and our curriculum for 12 months. So I think Hallie actually has it for 36 months. So there is a discount when you do for more. But for 12, the majority of people do 12 months, and then they can do multiple parent nights. So if they want to do it by age, or they want to do it by even class, and then sometimes they'll do a screening. There will not be, the word will get out, and they'll want to do another screening of the same movie so that more parents. So kind of gives you that flexibility, and it's actually not that much more. But okay, I'm gonna Hallie, feel free to stay on, pop off, whatever you want at this point.
Thank you.
So, I wanted to show everybody around a little bit the Screenagers membership platform. So I will start, let's see, here we go. Is this, okay, let's see. Hold on. I don't know how to get this to be full screen. Oops. There we go. So when, like we said, here are the four movies: Elementary School Age Edition, Screenagers Growing Up in the Digital Age, Screenagers Next Chapter, which addresses mental health in the digital age. It's really stress, anxiety, and depression, and we overlay the impact of screen time throughout. And then Screenagers Under the Influence, addressing vaping, drugs, and alcohol in the digital age. And for each of these films, you can, this is what our membership platform looks like. And it has all the films that you subscribe to. So you can, as a school, just choose one of these movies. You don't have to subscribe to all of them. And obviously the price differential, there's a price differential when you do 1, 2, 3, or 4 films. And if you're a school and you're doing a parent night, let's say you can do the parent night. You don't need to do it at a movie theater or at a fancy theater, even school theater. Many people just do it in the lunchroom or the cafeteria, anywhere where you can, plug a computer into a sound system and a video, some kind of video um, machine, whatever that would be. So you would they would just watch the full version and you'd be able to play it right there. And then the teachers, what happens with the memberships is that all the not all the parents, all the school admin, teachers, counselors get single sign-on access to this platform. So they will be able to create their own password and sign in anytime they want to use it in the classroom. So whether you choose to do an assembly or you choose to do it class by class, or even do sections of the movie or pieces of the curriculum. So for our Screenagers Elementary School Age Edition, we have curriculum. So all the curriculum is over here in the Learn area. So the Elementary School Age Edition has curriculum for K1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. You can see all of this curriculum is right here. Super easy to use. You have the option to just have a class discussion, and we give in that we give a very simple way for the teacher to talk about it with lesson objectives. There's some printouts we give if you want kids to take notes and such. And then we have some, it just walks you all through, and lesson introduction, before what you would say before the movie. You would hit play the classroom edition, and then some lessons, some conversation afterwards. So that is if you're going to play the whole movie that way. Then if you want to do some deeper lessons along the way, or as reinforcement of these issues that are happening all the time. Let's say you have a phone ban and you want ways to integrate these issues in a little bit every week in an advisory class or a science class or English class, or if you're talking about obviously elementary, then you have the whole day in different ways that you can integrate it in. But let me show you what we've divided them into different sections. So this one is technology and you, and that the curriculum is really done as activities. So they're not meant to be, they don't have to go A through Z. If you just want to take a little section of these issues, one single activity, it's right here. So you have the clips that we're referring to for each activity. And then here is what the teacher would say, and then how you would explore this from a K1 perspective. And so we do level it up for each one. We have everything in Spanish, by the way, if that's an issue in your school. And the movies, we have Spanish subtitles as well as English subtitles. So this is our K1. We try to keep it very age appropriate, developed by teachers that have worked in these classes. So that would be the elementary school age one. The screenagers growing up in the digital age is, we really say, it's middle and high school lessons, although we do have a 4 or 5 if you're wanting to talk about some slightly more sophisticated issues that do show up in screenagers growing up in the digital age. The difference between the difference between the two, screenagers elementary and screenagers growing up in the digital age, lies in some of the imagery is of younger kids in the elementary school age, and there's also the issues. So in the elementary school age one, we would cover issues like watches in class or YouTube Kids, how parents are dealing with homework for the elementary school age, a lot of those kinds of issues, as well as video games and um, internet as a whole, and what we're all struggling with all this. When we go up to the growing up in the digital age, so the movie follows, both of those movies follow Dr. Rustin, who is my film partner and director of these films, and she um, was trying to decide whether to give her daughter, who was in middle school at the time, a phone, and then went out on this journey to uncover all the issues. And we have all sorts of science. We have the top researchers in the world on this. We have lots of different kinds of families for each issue. And so through that discovery, we all kind of find someone in the movie that we relate to, whether that's another parent or a kid. But for growing up in the digital age, which was the original one, we cover everything from phones in schools to video games. But the story in that one is where a kid who struggles quite a bit, and he ends up going, graduates high school, goes to college, and immediately flunks out because he's playing video games all the time, and ends up going to internet rehab. But that is not in the elementary school. There's a section in the growing up in the digital age where a girl sends a picture of herself in a bra to a boy, and then what happens. So those kinds of issues are just not in the elementary. We reserve those for the later one, when those kinds of issues are happening, and we need to find a way to have these discussions, right? Both in our families and among each other, so that we can solve for this. We went on after that movie to make Screenagers Next Chapter. So Dr. Rustin's daughter did go on to develop some depression in high school, and she again followed her daughter Tessa to try to figure out how to help her. And so again, we talked to top researchers, scientists, thought leaders, and many, many parents and families from different kinds of backgrounds with different kinds of issues, about how they handle this, how they help their kids. And our movies are really very solution oriented. We don't like to just talk about the problem. We come up with ideas for solutions. So in Next Chapter, that's the case. And we say that film is really 6th grade and up. And so we do have curriculum for 6th through 8th, and then high school as well. However, and we do say the films are fine for that age group, but we did want to make something for schools that were K-12, and they were buying Next Chapter for their middle and high school. So we did make a lesson plan that we don't say to show the movie, but the lesson plan for the 1st through 5th graders does have little video clips that are appropriate, and some lessons that are adapted from some of the activities, but are not dependent on watching the film and don't go deep in. It's just a way to help name some of the feelings that kids are feeling. And then we went on to Screenagers Under the Influence. So, Screenagers Under the Influence addresses vaping, drugs, and alcohol in the digital age. We just this week are finishing a little update, even though this film came out less than 2 years ago. Since the film came out, there have been little things that have changed. For instance, something called Zins, which are these patches that are go in kids, they're nicotine patches that kids use in their mouth. They put them on their gums, and they're marketed like Juul, like the vaping products that used all the flavors. So Zins have that same thing and have really taken um, our kids by storm. Many middle, high, and even elementary. I'm hearing there people are starting to see elementary kids coming to school with vapes, and even Zins that they get from their older siblings or from parents possibly. So we've put in a little bit about that in the new movie. We've taken out we filmed a lot of it at the tail end of COVID. And so when we initially came out, it was appropriate to have some masks throughout the film. We now have taken almost all the imagery of masks out of the film. So again, this is the curriculum, super simple for the teachers to use. We have slides, we have worksheets, we have clips to the movies, all of that. So let's see. I want to make sure that okay, so I wanted to share our film. I mean, sorry, not our film. I wanted to share just our website. So let's see. I can't see what I'm sharing. Let's see. Okay, this is our screen-free sleep, actually. I'll show you. This is a campaign that we're doing that Hallie was talking about that was that is a campaign to get kids to or parents to take all the technology out of a kid's room. So this is our flash mob. There's a little video. We have facts in here, and it's just 3 simple things we are telling people to do around this. And then we are offering these little boxes that Hallie showed you. We have some left, and that's kind of a fun giveaway at the end of a screening. So that's at screenfreesleep.org actually. But what I wanted to show you was our main website. So our main website is screenagersmovie.com. This is where you will find, open to the public, the trailers to all of our films, as well as we have free blogs, Tech Talk Tuesdays. This is our latest one that came out today. So every week we write about a single subject. This is a piece about some of the violence and video games and such that are contributing to some issues with boys. But we really, for the most part, most of them are about both boys and girls. And this, as you can see, you can scroll through all of our blogs are free for anybody to access, to send a link, maybe take a little bit, send a link to your parents in a newsletter. And at the end of each blog are a few questions to get a conversation going about these issues. So sometimes even teachers will use these blogs to bring up issues in class, or if they're dealing with a specific issue that they want to talk about. I assure you, we've probably written about it. So it's everything from, um, phone-free schools and to sleep, to social media and video games, to bullying. I mean, every aspect. We also have a free podcast that comes out every other week, and I encourage you to take a look there. Those are great for parents and many of them for kids to listen to as well. So we have a host of resources. The last resource we have is this our YouTube channel, where because for every film that we create, we film about 1,000 hours of video for a 1 hour film. So our films, like I said, are generally about an hour long. And there's so many great things that all of our experts said that we wanted to share them. So we've been slowly cutting little pieces and sharing those out. So you'll see we have Jonathan Haidt is in our elementary school edition and our Growing Up in the Digital Age. He wrote Anxious Generation. Probably many of you have heard about that book, or read it. And so we have more than that's in the film in this section as well. So these are just kind of raw clips from our interviews. The last thing, let's see. The last thing I wanted to show you is if you are doing a phone ban at your school. Since 2007, we've had something called Screenager. Whoops, it's not even here. It's called Away for the Day. It's up here. So Away for the Day is where we just are advocating phones away for the day at school. But what we have are a lot of resources to help you. So we have the latest research, we have latest news, we have pushbacks if you're wanting to, roll this out and you have questions that your parents come up with. We have common answers to what those pushbacks, what you might want to say. We also have posters, which are fun. So if you have it, you can print these out for free. You can download these, and they're just fun to put around and remind kids in the hallways what the rules are. So we have a lot, as you can see. I would love to open this to questions at this point. Can you talk a little bit about cost? Yes, I forgot about that part. So the costs are, and I will send everybody, I'm told I'm going to get a list of everybody, and I will send you all an email by tomorrow with all of this. But the costs are for a 12-month membership. For one movie, it's $950. And that gives all the parents, all the teachers, admin, counselors, everyone at your school, not the parents, not the kids, but those, all the staff, access to use the films as they want throughout the year at your one school. So these are not to be shared with other schools, but, and then it's $12.50 for 2 movies and $15.50 for 3 movies for the year. So when I say 3 movies, even though we have 4, if you are a K-8 or a K-12 and you want to license Screenagers Growing Up in the Digital Age or Screenagers Elementary, we actually include both of those in there because they are the same framework. They're just for the younger kids and the older kids in the same school. So you will get all the movies If you do it, if you license Screenagers Growing Up in the Digital Age, you'll get Screenagers Elementary School Edition for that $9.50. If you license to the next chapter or Under the Influence, you will get and Growing Up in the Digital Age, you will get the elementary school edition as well. Also, even though you may not want to show all the films to all of your grades, or even any of you, maybe some of them you feel like are more appropriate for older kids, all of them are great for parents. The parents of any age kids, you want to get this information from a prevention standpoint. You want them to know before the bad stuff starts to happen so that they're prepared to have these conversations and understand what is going on. So that's how the membership works. You can also get 36 months is the price of 2 years. So it would be, if you're buying all the movies for 1 year, for 12 months, it would be $1,550. For 36 months, it would be $3,100. The price goes down if you're doing multiple schools in your diocese or in your district. So if you have more than 5 schools, 5 to 20 schools, and that sign on to do this, it goes down to 700, 1,000, 1,300 for the membership. So there is an incentive to get more schools on board. Everybody can pay separately, but if you're all part of the same diocese, then you can get that discount. Now, we also do offer one-time screening. So let's say you're not interested in doing a membership, an integrated membership, but you just want to do one parent night. That's $700 for a one-time screening. And you do get lots of marketing materials. Both of these offer lots of marketing materials and a moderator's guide to help lead a discussion, whether you're going to do that as a parent night or you want to do a one-time assembly. That's your choice. And then for each additional screening that you purchase at the time, you license at the time of the one-time screening, it's $400. So if you knew you wanted to do 3 movies throughout the year at your one school, that would be $1,500. It would actually only be $1,550 to get access, unlimited access. So that's, we really are trying to incentivize people to integrate more into their plans, all of our resources, so that these are not just one and done conversations. Even some schools will have small, like, sort of book groups. I mean, we actually have a book called Parenting in the Digital Age, and that is Parenting in the Screen Age. Sorry, our podcast was Parenting in the Digital Age. But using the movie, if they're coming to school, you could set them up with a movie to have, or parts of the curriculum to have a conversation about any parts of these, or whoops, you know what? I am just sharing. I realize I'm sharing the screen. I'm talking. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm back here, I believe. So if you want to do the one-time screenings, that's great. Many, many people do it that way. It's just a matter of, figuring out what you want to do. You don't have to. The other thing I want to say about the memberships is that they're 12 months. They're not a full school year. So if you're looking to start now, you'd have it through next end of September or October to October, however that works for you. So any other questions? Is there anybody on here that is using this right now and they want to share in the Q&A how it's working for them? We would love that. We have more than 1,000 Catholic schools that have done all of our films, so it is popular. NCEA has they have gone through all of our films and our curriculum and have approved it for the Catholic schools. So I did want to say that I know Hallie talked about that she found it appropriate, but NCEA has as well. So um, I would love if you wanted to reach out to me. It's Lisa at Screenagers Movie. And then if you go to www.screenagersmovie.com, we have a tab there where you can, it says host a screening. You can fill that form out if you know you would like to go ahead and do something, or you have further questions, or you want to set up a one-on-one call with one of us. We're happy to do that. So screenagersmovie.com. You know what? I'm going to just share the window to show you where that would be. So it's um, here, if you go to the host a screening and then you make an inquiry, you can put your information and you will automatically get all the pricing will come back to you. Otherwise, I will send you out something tomorrow. All right. Oh, I think we have another question. Does the year-long membership allow for unlimited access for the students, parents, and teachers? Yes. Thank you for asking. The 12-month membership does give access to the teachers to use it with the students all year, and the parents to use it. I'm sorry, and the admin to do parent nights as many times as you want throughout the year. It is unlimited access, and that's just for your school. So that is something I wanted to talk about in terms of the distinction between the one-time screening and the membership. The one-time screening does allow you to invite other schools. And you can even do it as a fundraiser, however you want. The memberships are really meant for just the parents of your school and the kids of your school. But if you're looking to join forces with other schools, then the one-time screening is the way to go. And you can invite anyone you want. You can invite the community. You can invite prospective students, prospective families. This is a great marketing tool as well. It's also, we do encourage people to use this as a fundraiser. I mean, all the time we all spend on different kinds of very time intensive fundraisers. This is something where you could have people come and do a suggested donation and keep all of that. We have no restrictions around that for you. The other thing we do, to talk that we can talk about if you're looking for ways that people are funding, if you're looking at different buckets, right? So there's the any kind of digital citizenship bucket. If you're from New York, I'm not sure it's the state is giving money for people to go phone free. I'm not sure if that's what the Catholic schools as well, but some of the schools are getting per pupil money to do education around phone free school rollouts. If there's the mental health bucket, there's suicide prevention, there is vaping and tobacco prevention, opioid prevention. If you have any local healthy youth organizations, there are thousands of those around the country that do like to support prevention in schools. I would suggest reaching out. A lot of them have money from opioid settlement funds, from Jewel settlement funds. So those are other places. If you're a Title I school, there's some pull outs for parent ed. So parent ed, your parent organizations, your home and school, your PTOs, your PTAs, those are great places to go help find some funds as well. Someone asked, so this curriculum is appropriate across many school districts, even public, special education, and private. Yes, we are. This is not a we don't. There's nothing in here that's specifically for Catholic schools. It's generally great family values, and many of the values that most Catholic schools are built on these are the issues that we're addressing. But public schools, private schools, charter schools, community organizations, even employers are bringing these in. We've had everyone from I mean, believe it or not, we've actually had Facebook and Twitter, and when it was Twitter, bring these movies in for their employees, but banks and um, financial institutions, law firms, anybody that has an employee relations group, they also bring it in. But yes, schools are using this across the board. It is, we've been very careful with this film to make all of our films and curriculum speak to everyone and keep out any of those issues that can be divisive. So, yes. Any other questions? And like I said, please feel free to reach out to me, Lisa at screenagersmovie.com, or fill out a form and we can make it a time to talk. Or if you know you want to do it, just say, can you send me a license agreement? The other big thing I wanted to say was that I'm happy to share all the films and the curriculum with you so you can try them out and see whether, I don't mean try them out in classes, but you can look through them, you can watch the films ahead of time, you can look at the curriculum and see if they're a good fit. So you can, if you're interested in that, before you make that commitment, please just let us know. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all for being here.
All right. Thank you so much for attending today's NCEA webinar. NCEA is continuously strives to improve the quality of our service for our members, and it is all based on your feedback. So we will use your input to inform future work and improve services. And as you can see, there's a survey in the chat for you to complete. This survey should only take about 5 minutes to complete. If you are interested in a certificate of attendance, please be sure to include your email address and name at the end of the survey. Since your certificate will be sent via an automated email, please be sure to check the spam if you do not see the email within a few minutes. Thank you again so much. Thank you again, Lisa.
Oh, I see one question here. Someone had asked, is
of course.
price an NCEA membership partnership price? This is our standard price. If you do have more, I would love to talk to you if you want to get the word out in your to other schools and how we can offer a special price around that. Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much again, Lisa, and to Dr. Hallie Colorado. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.